This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hey, this is Andrew, and this is my Nin Paint Artist deck. Hey everybody, welcome to the Gen Con floor. I'm here to show you my Nin the Paint Artist Aikido deck. The theme of this deck is to copy, steal, redirect, and just control everybody out and try to do the most ridiculous things possible. So of course, starting out with Nin, you know, a 2-mana 1/1 that has a pretty political ability. She's pretty fun, so we'll, you know, everybody pretty much knows her. The land base here is mostly basics, and that's very specific because there are a lot of non-basic hate in here. I have 17 islands. Thank you, Gen Con, for all the full art unhinged lands. Pretty awesome. Then we have 10 mountains. And then some non-basics. Only a couple just for color fixing purposes, because there are a lot of double blue and double red casting spells that we require. So we have Cascade Bluffs, Scalding Tarn, Shivan Reef, Sulfur Falls, Steam Vents, and this pretty awesome full art proxy I just got from a friend of mine of Volcanic Island. So starting out, you know, there's not a whole lot of ways to ramp in this deck, so I added a few as much as I could. Armillary Sphere helps me get those extra basics that I require, again, for the double casting cost spells. Dreamscape Artist is one of the few blue cards that really breaks the color pie in terms of giving you untapped lands for, you know, somewhat value. You know, you get a free land out of it, so it's pretty good. Chronarch gives you, you know, a spell that you've used previously. Copying him adds fun. Nucklavee gets you 2 spells and is also much more flexible in terms of its mana cost, being able to play blue or red or both. Let me get into some of the controlling elements. A lot of the things I see is with this deck is that people tend to get things out much faster and are able to attack much more aggressively. So being able to tap down, you know, artifacts, creatures, lands that come into play, it helps really slow other people down and allows to give me options in terms of what I want to do. So Soothsaying works very well with Braid of Fire. You know, a few turns in, this is a very innocuous card, but once you start getting an upkeep of red mana, you know, you're able to scry the top of your, or you're able to top the top of your deck pretty efficiently, and it gets pretty effective towards the end. Being able to draw cards again is really good because a lot of these spells rely on other decks to really function, so being able to counter it, return that spell to be able to play it again, and then drawing an additional card. Rewind helps me keep those manas untapped and really functioning. And as I said, this deck tries to hate on non-basics pretty well, so being able to lock out those rather greedy mana bases is really helpful for me. So back to basics is really good for that. Memory Lapse is another spell that allows me to try to get it later. Turnabout, really high functioning, especially with Radiate. You're able to either tap or untap everything. This allows me either to add mana, untap, you know, tap down somebody who's about to kill me, all sorts of different things. I try to go with buyback spells because that gives additional value, so cards like Shattering Pulse and Capsize are both in here. Those are very effective, especially once you get higher amounts of mana. When we start getting into the more janky spells, Flectomancer is, you know, color intensive. He's, you know, got a okay 2/2 body, but the fact that he's able to redirect target instant or sorceries is really good. Swerve allows me to flip around things. Reroute has the activated ability, swing, and it gives me a draw card, so tripping is good. Divert is really good, especially if someone tries to pull some sort of board wipe and then persist shenanigans. You know, that happened the other night with Puppeteer Clique, I was able to decide what someone got instead of having them get the maximum benefit from it. Misdirection, same kind of deal. Deflection, same kind of spiel. And then of course Spell Skite, which is good body. It helps with Nin to draw cards, and you know, just classic you mad bro type card. And a redirect. Then we get into some of the theft. So a lot of people play a lot of big creatures, a lot of cool permanents. So this is good, of course, you know, knowing from other formats. Take planeswalkers, take lands, take, you know, just any big beater and just swing it back at someone. Gilded Drake's classic for trades, swapping out for something else and then taking it back. Bribery, if I have some prior knowledge of someone's deck, or if I just want to kind of swing through and see what someone's playing, gives me additional information. Stolen Goods, this is one of the new cards. I haven't really tested it that much, but the fact that it exiles until a spell comes through, it helps kind of disable, you know, people that are trying to top deck, or at least in theory, that's what I'd like to try to see. Spelljack's pretty awesome because it allows you to stack things up. You know, you don't have to play it immediately, so you can just hold on to something for the right moment. Knowledge Exploitation, again, knowing another person's deck, that's really good. It's a higher end spell, but it works really well. Thadadel, of course, Island Walk and being able to steal artifacts. If I can't cast them, then at least they don't get them back, which is good. Mindclaw Shaman's been absolutely excellent in terms of, you know, knowing someone who tutored up a big time spell, being able to play it at the inopportune moment of my choosing versus theirs, really great. Also works really well with Kiki-Jiki for additional laughs. And acquire, same kind of spiel with artifacts instead of creatures. Classic beta steal artifact for anybody that wants to put something in play that I like. You know, hopefully it's a Cage Sun that's in my colors. That's pretty good. Blatant Thievery. This copied is hysterical, especially in long games that go on for way longer than they should. So another good one. I'm not a fan of Insurrection and just mass stealing creatures. I feel like that's, you know, too easy a win. So I saw this come out in Plane Chase 2012, and I thought that this would be a much fairer version. You know, because it allows for a more balanced game state, and people aren't going to, you know, jump the table and try to kill you. Dominus is pretty much a conscripts every turn, which is nice. You know, also effectively with the colors. Doppelganger, you know, classic copy. This guy has been absolutely hysterical. I thought he was going to be terrible, but the fact that he copies creatures like what's the Leviathan? Stormtide Leviathan. So that comes into play, that dies, everything's still islands, and nobody can swing still. This is also great for taking care of people's commanders because it'll legend out immediately. Echo Mage, you know, everybody likes to copy spells. This is the start of the copy suite, so, you know, if someone plays sweet spells or I play sweet spells, you know, I want to get as many as I can. So same goes with creatures. So this guy, you know, will become a copy of something that's on the field for me. Or if there's another changeling or shapeshifter on the field, I can switch them to something else on my command. This guy's been pretty funny. There is an infinite combo with Pack the Titan. The only downside is I don't have a haste element, so it's pretty much an awesome kill switch if I feel like I'm not going to win this game and I don't have any chance of doing so. Usually I don't have that much of an effect on the board state, like in the long run. I tend to copy things really fast, so if I want to bow out gracefully, I'll just kind of blow myself out for, you know, a million tokens that I can't pay for. Classic Clone. Mizzium Transreliquat. This is an interesting one that you don't really see a lot. It can become a copy of an artifact until end of turn, or for 1 red-blue, it can become a copy permanently and retain that ability. So this is good for, you know, being able to copy something that's on the field if I put something else out. You know, more so just a conversation piece because you don't really see it. So, Reverberate, Reiterate. You know, another buyback spell. It's really funny. The original classic Fork. Radiate's really good when you get somebody. You know, this causes absolute nightmares and headaches with the stack. So, you know, of course it's going to be in here. So, Rite of Replication, you know, big spells, big copies, big things, awesome. Mirari copies spells, you know, things you get more of, more shenanigans. If I see an enchantment I like, particularly the Aura Curse from Innistrad block, you know, people are playing other cool spells, I want copies of them too, so give them everybody. Heat Shimmer gives me that quick flash creature. Follow Footsteps. This one usually doesn't see the light of day very much because someone will kill that creature pretty quickly, but it tends to have a pretty strong effect if it does. So I approve. Wild Ricochet. This kind of goes into both the redirect section and the copy section, but there's also a heavy amount of redirect spells in here to kind of keep things going where I want them to. Counterpart, instant speed, token copy, can't go wrong with that, you know, and then the fact that it flashes back is really nice. Everybody's favorite little goblin, Kiki-Jiki. And then this one I'm testing, this seems pretty funny, make something into a, you know, a leveled up Echo Mage, not fully leveled up, but, you know, just for one. And then the Aura Curse of Echoes, which is pretty sweet.
There's so many.
This one's really funny with, if you can get one of the bombs off, you can copy your, you can copy Stuffy Doll, target everybody, and then do something like Blasphemous Act and just blow everybody out in one pretty awesome swoop. It's expensive, but it works. Stuffy Doll is aforementioned. Pact of the Titan is previously mentioned, you know, copy engine, you know, gives me a quick blocker just in case to save myself. And you got some big bomby spells, you know, Blasphemous Act helps clear out the board efficiently. Time Spiral helps everything keep going in terms of shuffling graveyards and hands and drawing 7. Also being able to untap is really effective. Price of Progress, once again hating on, you know, people that play really expensive mana bases, you know, this copied a few times will generally end the game in a very abrupt manner. So, and then of course Earthquake, copying this down, getting rid of creatures, and hopefully surviving it, you know, makes for a fun game. And that's it. Thanks for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe and favorite.